Now, the D8, a group of developing nations whose membership includes Nigeria, has called on all countries of the world to stop supplying arms to Israel. It also urged the United States to lift its veto on the full membership of Palestine as an independent and sovereign state in the United Nations. Palestine is currently a non-member observer state, a de facto recognition of statehood granted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2012. Making a declaration after a meeting in Istanbul of its Council of Ministers, the group called on countries around the world to ensure that Israel strictly complied with the provisional measures ordered by the International Court of Justice, which required the regime to immediately halt its offensive on Gaza and withdraw from the southern Gaza city of Rafah. Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now for a robust conversation on the stance of the D8 on the Israel-Gaza war. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. It's always awesome to have you here on the program.
It's a pleasure of being here as usual.
All right, today, international affairs. Your initial takes on Nigeria adding its voice to the clamor of nations who are looking for, an end and a solution to this crisis. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a welcome development. I will call it the emergence of humanitarian diplomacy. Get me? To control or suppress or mitigate the effect of combative diplomacy that the U.S. and Israel have been practicing all along. In a way, it may not amount to much at the end of the day. But you see the prevalence of Bayesian theory, might is right over justice. Before the D8 group came into force on this side, the South Africans have taken Israel to court. You see, I will try to look at the international effect of that and the domestic impact in Nigeria. The international effect is that, you see, the D8, look at them. You have to analyze it now. They are Muslim countries. I would have wished there was one non-Muslim country there. But this time around, on that scale, it does not matter. Because they are on the right side of what I call mercy. It is apparent Israel has overkilled the Gazans. Look at the statistics. They killed 1,000 people, 36,000 people have gone in the process. And the continuation of Israel's policy of demolition for retaliation, an eye for an eye, they literally destroyed the place. It is carnage that should not be encouraged. And the U.S. is caught between the devil and the blue sea because it is an election year. And the U.S. policy has always been to stand by Israel. But even then, in the U.S., the repercussions are there. And their campuses, their main ivory tower universities, people are demonstrating against the injustice, the carnage they see daily on the television. It is not on. But I'm happy we have done our bit. But then, you see, don't forget that this government is a Muslim ticket. Our brothers, the Christians, I'm not prodding them because Israel is there to Christianity. They forget that the Israel here now is not the Israel of the Bible. This is an Israel that defies international law. That is a gangster state. But people, you can't say that in church. I once tried it in the Bible class. They asked me never to come back again. I did not go back. But these are the odds on the table. So you can say they come back, but they come right. But then the morality is there. But you recall about during Buhari's regime, even the U.S. stopped Nigeria from buying arms from Israel because they said we are using the arms to kill civilians But now, the clock has moved to full circle, and it is us telling the United States, for whatever it is worth. You can say it, we are backing at the moon, but we are on the right side of justice and mercy and humanitarianism. And I'm proud to be a Nigerian. Yeah.
All right then. Well, I mean, speaking about, backing and not biting, do you really think that this statement would have an impact and actually stop the supply and weapons and ammunition to Israel as demanded by the D8, especially when we look at it on the back burner of that statement that was made for the recognition of Palestine's qualification for full membership in the UN General Assembly? Do you think that this is just another one of those statements, or seeing these 8 countries coming together could actually stop this supply of arms and ammunition to Israel?
And I said, you may say we are backing, but you can't buy it. You don't know what that means?
That's what I want you to explain
that
to me,
is,
sir.
no, you don't know what it means. That's what it means. I'm saying that what we have done, is done in good faith, on humanitarian ground. But you can't stop the US giving arms to Israel. Even UK, Britain, traditional allies, they have said they will stop selling arms to Israel. But they know Israel itself is okay, even amongst the countries in the D8, you get me? Including Nigeria, they supply us arms. How do you manage both? We need arms to fight insurgency. And we are asking our supplier, we're asking some people to stop our supplier. No, it is just diplomacy. In terms of pragmatic, effect, that maybe that threat will stop people selling to Israel. Zero. That's why I said, we seem as if we are backing, but we cannot buy it. Next question.
Right, so D8, excuse me, we're not in South Africa. D8 is also backing the Biden created ceasefire plan. And besides that, the other developments, of course, we've seen the Minister of Defense also stepping down from the Israeli war cabinet. There are a lot of developments currently happening. Do you think that with the mounting voices, the number of global players who are joining this conversation, that Netanyahu is going to bow to pressure anytime soon? Because, of course, we've already seen the 4 hostages, because the hostages are still a very big component of what's going on.
Let me answer you quickly. You see, the minister that stepped down is blaming Netanyahu for not effectively stopping, killing Hamas. Mm-hmm. You get me? If he had this way, the carnage will be more than this. That they are not getting, see, this is selfish diplomacy. They are thinking of getting their own hostages out. How many of them? But that's the Jewish tradition. They always bring home their dead at whatever cost. Everybody is seeing that it is costing the Gazans terribly, and even it is costing us mightily too, in terms of looking at the bestiality of people being killed by people who think because they have might, they have the ammunition, and nobody can stop them. You get me? So in a way, if you compare Netanyahu with the minister resigning, Netanyahu is like a pope. These are the radicals, extremists, who feel that Gaza should be mowed down. And that's the end of it. So it's a pathetic situation. And it shows that, you see, in diplomacy, all the niceties and all these things, there are no permanent enemies or permanent interests. And your enemy's enemy is your friend. Mm-hmm. But you see, that is how it is. But diplomacy is like a middleman between peace and war. The war has erupted there, and people are trying to use diplomacy to stop it. I pray they succeed, but the way things stand, the Israelis are very, very aggressive when it comes to retrieving their dead. The policy is an eye for an eye. They just go to all extremes to achieve their goals. Yeah.
All right, then that's a good place to nip it in the bud.